Hello friendly nerds, I present to you the Midnight Frost Spellblade. This is a build guide that I've been thinking about since the last patch, but it hasn't been viable. But now we have this node, or Irion's Penance, but this node made it better for this build. So this is a cold Mana Strike Spellblade with proc on Frost Claw and Lightning Blast, and I'll tell you all about it. Stick with me, subscribe to my channel if you like my build guides and my content, if there are things there that you'd like to see. And that's it, let's go to the video, to the build guide. Kicking off with the damage demonstration. Right now I have enchant weapon, so that's why things are going fast. But basically, you're gonna be hitting a lot with Mana Strike. And Mana Strike is gonna be proccing the Frost Claw and the Lightning Blast. So that's what you're seeing here. You can see some cool area damage, some ward generation, which I have basically for 3.85 thousand now, I think, on base. But that's gonna be increased on future guides. And this is damage on a single target. The single target damage can get better. The higher the spell crit you have, the better the damage. And Mana Strike has some nodes for when we're out of mana. So you're gonna be hitting and proccing all the time, endlessly. Very cool, right? And on mobility, I got Surge. Surge gives us some ward, and this Alluvian wave, this tidal wave, sorry, I showed it to the wall. Here. This wave, which does not give damage, but it gives slow and some hits on enemies. We get the enemies to be slowed, we get the enemies to have some frostbite, shock, chill, and ice resistant shred, which is from a blessing. Anyways, that's it for the damage demonstration, guys. Okay, so some gameplay on 156 Corruption with the Midnight Sun Spellblade, sorry. Oh god. First things first, sometimes damage takes a little bit because stuff needs to proc. But when it does, the damage comes out. Decent damage.
I cannot do that.
And also know that enchant weapon is gonna make a huge difference on your damage here, okay?
I cannot do that. Cannot.
You can also make Frost Claw if you want. Proc. Sorry. Some Ice Barrage or Nova. That's also options of skills that might be just as strong as this one. I just think that when we get a really high crit chance, that's which is version 2.0, the damage is gonna be insane. Right now it's decent damage. Just decent. That's done. That echo was a little bit short, so I'm gonna show a little bit more. I gotta say, I really don't recommend this as a first character because it's an expensive build. But if you have other characters and you can get at least the basics of this item, it's a good farming build and you can get quite far with it. If you follow the tips that I said, with the Frostbite Shackles and the Bold Clamor Barboot. because it takes a lot of crit chance. And Frostbite's gonna give a nice plus damage.
That?
And it's gonna get even more wards, because these two items, the Frostbite Shackles and the Bone Clamor Barboots, gives ward. Ward, Dex, Intelligence, it's gonna raise it all. So be sure to check when the version 2.0 comes, because it's gonna get even better than this. This is a base start for this build. I have hundreds of hours of gameplay on it, on live stream with it. Not hundreds, but there's hours of gameplay if you want to check there. And see how that... Wow, double exalted. I'm gonna kick it off talking about the skills and the passives. First things first, this new node is very, very important. On this patch 1.1, the Spellblade received various buffs, which was very much needed. But this Warden's Echo, it gives Frostclaw chance on hit. And it costs less mana to cast it, so it's great. And if we sum this up with this node on Frostclaw, we have 50% chance to cast Frostclaw on hit. So that's pretty much nice. That's the base of this combo. It's this. The rest, we got elemental damage, a lot of attack speed, some more wards when we're low on health, and some health and mana. On Sorcerer, we have a few nodes. This one to get some mana on ward per second. This one to get some cold damage and frostbite chance. And this to get a higher spell crit chance per intelligence, which is very nice. If you want... No, don't get this. Forget it. Here on the Spellblade, I got increased elemental damage and elemental resistance. I got only 1 point here because the focus of the damage is Lightning Blast and... is Lightning Blast and Frostclaw. It's not the Mana Strike itself. The Mana Strike is only for fast casting and to be able to have mana to cast. But here I got 4 points. Only to get some freeze rates multiplier, melee cold damage great, but this higher damage against chilled or frozen enemies. That's interesting. Arcane Warden to get intelligence wards per hit. We're gonna be dealing a lot of melee hits. And some more DK threshold. This I've already explained, must have. Increased crit chance per dex. We're getting some dex on this build. The Spellblade does get some dex, and crit chance is very good, so the Frostclaw can proc Lightning Blast. Sorry about the WhatsApp. Arcane Shielding with, which is the same as before. I don't think... No, it didn't have ward per second in the last patch. Less damage taken and ward per second. And now we get arcane hits on melee hits. That was the same as before. Then we get this one that's gonna decrease its effect, but it's gonna give us some armor. As we have a lot of attack speed, that's just great. In here, get wards per hit and a lot of attack speed. Must have dual wield so we can equip the crystal sword. This node to get some health and mana back. So this sums up nicely with Mana Strike. Spell damage, great. We want Lightning Blast and Frostclaw to deal a lot of damage. Then you get intelligence and ward. And then you get some more ward per intelligence with more crit chance per intelligence. So you're gonna have a lot of crit chance, which is great. And a lot of ward, which is great also. And that's it for the passives, guys. On the skills, let's start with Frostclaw. So I've already said Frostclaw needs this to be cast on melee hits. Then you're gonna go this way and get Volley Glass to get a lot of hits, to get more chances to crit and cast Lightning Blast. Then you get a high crit chance, spell damage per melee damage, which is great because we're using a dagger and a sword. And get Frozen Sleeper, because these Ice Spires they have cold span, and you're gonna have 6 swirling around with a double chance to cast and 100% increased damage. So as we're casting a lot of Frost Claw, that's just make it up greatly for damage. Lightning Blast is gonna come here on cold, and this is what makes Lightning Blast goes in a line, okay? So when it goes in a line, we get damage per additional chain. So you're gonna get all these nodes to get maximum additional chain, and you're gonna come here and get hit damage against shocked and chilled enemies, which we are gonna get from a lot of stuff. I've showed this before. You're gonna get 10 stacks of shock and 3 stacks of chill. So that's a lot of damage here. Get this 100% damage, and it's out of mana cost, so you can cast even though you're out of mana. I didn't get this. I don't really need more crits. I already have a nice crit chance, and what I really need to crit is Frost Claw. But if you have extra point, do get this. Mana Strike, or Star. You gotta get this node, so you won't have to use your Penance. And this is gonna turn Mana Strike from lightning to cold, okay? And shock to frostbite. Then you'll get some ward here. Get this attack speed, come here, global increased damage, global damage per enemy hit, great global spell damage, sorry. As we have a lot of attack speed, this is gonna stack a lot. And make it ranged, make it auto target. Then I came to these to get a higher area, mana gains, but this node for sure, because when we're out of mana, we wanna keep hitting. And as you see, we do get out of mana. Let's see if I can make this happen. It takes a while because we're recovering a lot of mana and spending a lot of mana, but sometimes it happens if it procs a lot of the lightning blast. It's not happening now, but when it does, it's a way to recover your mana and keep hitting, you know? If you get a +3 or 4 to Mana Strike, I highly suggest you get this attack speed, more... I don't think we need more mana, then get area to hit more enemies. Or more ward, it's also useful. And that's it for Mana Strike. Enchant Weapon is a star, okay? So I've made it last longer, deal more damage, and automatically recast, so we don't have to use it all the time. Then you get this node for more cold damage, and icicles are very useful. They're gonna be cast all the time with the other skills, so I think it's a better combo than just get melee cold damage. But if you prefer to get the cold damage, it's also an option. And get this, which is 50% attack speed, and it makes a whole difference on this combo. Okay, you see on the equipment that I have a lot of attack speed, and I want to have even more, because that's gonna make the combo just do a lot more damage and get a lot more ward. You can see I have 6k right now, which is great. Maybe if it were on the previous patch, this would be even greater, because now the ward formula changed. And that's it for Enchant Weapon. If I had more 3 or 4 points, I'd get it here, and no need for this one at all. Surge is primarily my traversal skill, but it can also proc with Frost Claw, so it's interesting. Do get it on cold, do get it the tidal wave, and do get it some cold damage. Then it's ward, 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 and I like to have it traveling a higher distance. I put this stun chance and shock that turn into frostbite chance, cause it's some CC, it's nice, but if you don't want it, just change it to one of these and it'll be fine. And that's it for the passives and skill, guys. Talking about the items, let's go. So, what do we have of different here from last patch? Nothing, okay? These are old items. But we're gonna use a Dragoraph's Claw. It's gonna be casting Lightning Blast on crit, essential here for you to be casting Lightning Blast. And on it, you can get cold damage, and I'm gonna get attack speed I don't think spell damage comes here. I don't remember that now, but if it does, get it. On the sword here, you can do get cold damage and spell damage. This is a tier 6 spell damage. If you can, get a tier 7. And it's gotta be this sword, because it gives some damage to mana strike and attack speed. So it's a great sword. Down there, you can also choose to get dodge rating. Sword has a great dodge rating. It'll be an extra layer of defense for us, because we have some armor and nice ward. And then we get the ward combo, which is Exsanguinios, Last Steps of the Living, and ward per health, okay? On the gloves, let me be clear about this. I want to get a frostbite on it. It'll be so much better. But it's gotta have the experimental, okay? It's gotta have melee attack speed and the experimental. And Nemesis are not gonna give me that. That's gotta be a slam. And Frostbite Shackles LP2 is not that common. So it's not that hard to find, okay, but people don't sell it, so it'll take me some time to get it. On version 2.0, there will be this difference and the Bone Clamor Barboot. So what happens here? Bone Clamor Barboot gives us ward, resistance, dex, and intelligence. We use both here, okay? But I've preferred this helm for now because it gives us this spell crit. So I'm not even doubling it. So this spell crit chance is gonna get way higher, okay? I got it on helm and on this amulet. But I pretend to get a Bone Clamor Barboot with spell crit, and it's just gonna make this build so much stronger. And that's gonna come on version 2.0, definitely, okay? And that's it. On the rings, you can get Font of the Erased or another ring that gives you a lot of intelligence and some resistances and defenses. Like right now I still need some physical resist here, and some poison resist would be nice too. Both rings are that, okay? Belt, I used the Ward of Strand of Souls, but I've decided that it was not the best, so I just went for a belt that gave me some armor. This mana regen is not what I want here. You can have it, it's good, it's nice, but it's not a must-have. Then get some armor, health, and defenses here, okay? And cold damage, you can get cold damage here too. That's it for the equipment. On idols, definitely get the stronghold part that gives us mana and armor, okay? Then melee elemental damage or mana efficiency with Frostclaw with the armor and mana. This is the ideal. I want two of these, okay? The elemental damage is nice, but it's not what I want. I want another one of these to make Frostclaw hit more. And then the other one, just get defensives. Vit and health, ward retention and cold damage, health. You can get one of these that's health and health. That's also great. It's gonna increase your ward. This one's because I don't have any better. And that's pretty much it here. On blessings, the important part is the Black Sun. I chose to get health, okay, higher health. I just thought it would be the best. Cold damage, of course, you can get to 100% here. All resistances from Reign of the Dragons. Shred cold resistance, very important, because it's gonna shred real fast with all our hits and just allow us to give some great damage. And the last one, I chose to get some armor, which can be increased more. But that's it for the equipments and blessings. Now, an overall and an ending that I'd like to talk to you guys is that this build is not finished. I wanted to post because it's an idea that I had for some time and some followers were asking for it. So, because I made a previous Shatterstrike Spellblade build, and I've got some things that'll make this build a lot stronger, I believe, and I'll be focusing on that right now. Then I'll be focusing on the Falconer back. But what I wanted to say is, very fun build to play, very strong build to play, with possibility to get to high corruption. I've reached 200 corruption with it. The problem was the damage, but we're gonna increase the damage here with the Frostbite Shackle, and with these legendaries. So it's gonna get to even higher damages, and that's all gonna come on version 2.0, okay? So I really hope you guys like it. This is a perspective for version 2.0 and a basic guide. I really hope you guys like the idea and you give me feedbacks on it and my other builds, and check out my streams. I'm streaming live every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, usually from 3 to 7 p.m. And that's it, guys. I hope you guys really like this video. Give me your feedback, subscribe to my channel. It's helped me out a lot. And see you guys later.